I am Emily Ross of the United Nations Foundation. Tonight, here in Bali, Indonesia, we are officially launching the virtual platform of the Global Youth Forum. This platform will allow all of you, our 2,500 virtual delegates, to engage in the forum and let your voices be heard. In fact, through this launch, you are the first delegates to participate in the forum, and I warmly welcome you to the conversation. I am honored tonight to be joined by a very special guest, Dr. Babatunde Osotimehin, the Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund. Dr. Babatunde, can you please explain to our delegates the main objectives of the Global Youth Forum and why it is so important that youth have a voice in discussions about global development?
Thank you very much. I want to state very clearly that the United Nations Population Fund is very happy to host this youth forum, which is bringing together young people from all over the world, both in the physical and online. And I think that what we are trying to accomplish here is to get and capture the voices of young people to state their aspirations and be able to ensure that as we develop the next development agenda, young people's voices are integral. In fact, they're front and center, because when you look at the demographics of the world today, young people form like 30%, 20% of the world's population. And that is across the board. I've just come from South Africa, where 70% of the population are young people. And when we are looking at what should happen going forward, beyond the development goals, beyond the issue of the International Conference on Population and Development Review, what are we going to get? What should happen going forward? I think young people must be the voice to listen to, because the future belongs to them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Babatunde, for that very insightful and meaningful overview. Next, I'd like to introduce Pratik Awasthi, the Adolescent and Youth Advisor at UNFPA. Pratik, how can all of our virtual delegates participate in the dialogue and provide formal input into the forum here in Bali?
Thank you, Emily. I think it's exciting that we have unprecedented participation from young people around the world through this virtual platform that we're launching. Never before have so many young people around the world been able to review the papers, follow the discussions, and make recommendations online. The young people, the 2,500 young people that have registered, are able to follow our discussions online. They're able to see webcasts of the plenary discussions. They're able to look at the papers, which we encourage all virtual participants to go through, and they're able to make their own recommendations or support other existing recommendations. And we will receive those recommendations before World Cafe sessions. In fact, we encourage all young people to make their recommendations as early as possible, so that when the sun rises in Bali tomorrow, we will have that input already, and we can build on what young people around the world are saying already. And I'm really excited that this is a historic opportunity, that we're using the internet, we're using social media to allow young people to participate. And of course, everyone knows that follow the hashtag ICPDYouth, tweet your comments, tweet your questions. For moderators in every session, there will be screens where we will see all the input from around the world, so we are live casting all of this, and it's an exciting opportunity for everyone to participate.
Thank you so much, and you said that youth can start making recommendations.
You can start tweeting right now.
Okay, thank you. So thanks, Pratik. And now I'd like to introduce Yawar Svanamir, a technical officer in the Department of Reproductive Health and Research at the World Health Organization, who will provide an overview of the Staying Healthy paper that will be discussed in tomorrow's plenary. Yawar, I understand that conversations taking place on staying healthy are part of the official consultations on the post-2015 development agenda and the ICPD plus 20 review. Could you please describe what this means and preview some of the key issues raised in the paper that delegates should think about to form their recommendations?
Thank you. Yes, there are two processes. First is the ICPD plus 20 review. So we're looking at the achievements of the agenda of the International Conference on Population and Development. and then formulating, looking at the relevance of those goals and what we have achieved and what should be the goals for the future. And then the second is MDG plus 15 review in the year after 2015, and then this issue about formulating new goals, and then again looking at the relevance, adequacy of the existing goals, and whether we need to formulate new goals. And of course, the voice of young people is very important in these processes.
And what are some of the issues that you expect delegates to discuss in the context of staying healthy, some of the main challenges that exist today?
Yeah, so perhaps I should just take us through the paper that we have prepared for this meeting. Let me first say that the Global Youth Forum is an important step in the process of reviewing the achievements of the ICPD agenda and in preparing the post-ICPD agenda. The recommendations from the Global Youth Forum will feed into the ICPD plus 20 review and into the plans and programs of WHO and UNFPA. I think it's crucial that young people engage in the discussions. This is about their future and about how we are going to meet their needs and fulfill their rights in the field of health. So what are we aiming for? What is the goal? Our goal is that adolescents will be empowered with the information, skills, health services, human rights protections, and family and community support they require to stay healthy and to avoid premature death. Unfortunately, many young people, especially those already disadvantaged or marginalized by income or other factors, do not have the support or access to resources that is needed. The paper presented by UNFPA and WHO at this meeting addresses some of the major challenges to health in adolescents and youth. These include unsafe sexual activity, use of tobacco and misuse of substances like alcohol and drugs, harmful eating patterns and inadequate physical activity, unintentional injuries, violence and other risk-taking, and mental health. Addressing the health of young people is not the responsibility of the health sector alone, and we need a multi-sectorial engagement. Issues that can and should be addressed by many sectors include harmful practices like child marriage and female genital mutilation, discrimination, especially in education and employment, poverty, and harmful products like unhealthy food, alcohol, and tobacco. I would like to say a few words about the main health challenges adolescents and youth are facing. Alcohol's drug use, unsafe sex, and iron deficiency are the leading factors reducing the number of healthy life years. And the main causes of disability globally are mental illness, injuries, infectious and parasitic diseases, and pregnancy-related conditions. However, I would like to emphasize that there are large differences between low and high-income countries, age groups, and sexes, and between the various regions in the world. So what are the main actions young people can take to stay healthy, and which challenges do we need to address? In the paper by WHO and UNFPA, we emphasize three main areas. First, they need to practice safe sex and avoid unsafe sex. This includes preventing sexually transmitted infections, including HIV, preventing early pregnancy and childbearing, and preventing sexual violence and coercion.
I think we have to wrap up in just 1 second.
Yeah. Unfortunately, too often adolescents lack the relevant information, education, and services that would enable them to protect their reproductive and sexual health. Young people need comprehensive sexuality education so that they can understand and manage feelings, relationships, and the developments in the realm of sexuality and interpersonal relationships. Second area of actions are challenges concerning adoption of healthy lifestyles. A third and last area of action and challenges is about avoiding and reducing behaviors and situations that jeopardize health. And let me just say a few words about what should be done to address these challenges to stay healthy. First, we need to provide quality health services to adolescents and youth. We need to make health services accessible and acceptable. We need to inform, educate, and build the skills of young people. We need to develop and enforce adequate policies and laws. And fifth, we need to ensure young people's participation. Including young people in designing, implementing, and monitoring health information and services increases the likelihood that they will be attractive to young people and that they will be more effective.
Okay,
By conclusion, staying healthy requires joint actions by young people themselves, their families, and community institutions. We need to ensure that diverse groups of adolescents and youth have an effective voice at national and global levels. And this Global Youth Forum is a very important step in that sense, and an excellent opportunity for young people to come forward with their recommendations.
Thank you so much, Joar, and also thank you again to Dr. Babatunde and to Pratik. To those of you watching around the world, remember to submit your recommendations, watch the forum online, tweet your comments using hashtag ICPDYouth, and share your stories on 7 Billion Actions. You are part of the 43% of the world's population that will shape our future. This is your opportunity to let your voices be heard. We look forward to welcoming you back in 11 hours for the Global Youth Forum opening ceremony with special guest Agnes Monica. Thank you and good night from Bali.